our guests on the pilot show, show number 1. This is where it's gonna start from, are two very special friends of mine. I've known them for years. One of them is a former corporate. She's made her way in the business segment. She's got a fantastic blossoming business, and her name, wow, it just sends shivers down my spine. But not too far down, because the husband is sitting right next to her. Husband is one of Uganda's most renowned radio presenters, plus MC extraordinaires. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Sekanyolya security show, Brian and Manuella Mulondo. Nice to have you guys. Okay, enough with the hula baloo and the clapping. Straight to the action, huh? Now, I want to ask you just a simple question. When you hear security and safety, now, what comes to your minds?
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, I think guns. I know, tear gas. I think CIA. I think dark. Like, because everything about security seems like there's a thief, there's danger, there's something wrong, and so you need something that can fight that danger. So that's always, every time someone says security, that's the first thing, that's the first place that I...
Too many movies, man.
Yeah, too many movies.
And don't tell me that's the same perception you have. Really?
Birds of the same. But I think close to what, because that's the kind of thing we've grown up with. If it is security, it has to be anything that is against the bad guy. So in the equation, there's always the bad guy as a good guy. So whatever is security is the good guy. And so for us, for me, when you mention security, whatever I need to do to deter anything that disturbs my peace,
Which is quite interesting when he says it like that, because he's saying deter. For me, mine is like the actual attack. So it's never really anything good, you know. So it's electrocution. It's
what?
Really?
Yeah, really. So
who's the most security conscious between the two of you?
Me.
What, you're happy-go-lucky? Has any of you guys taken self-defense classes in your life?
I do boxing, so
yeah.
With your footstep?
Bro.
I'm not in this
No. Excuse me. This is you are getting it wrong. It's not a potbelly. It's security. Sekanyolya. They have good insight. Yes.
Yeah.
But I do boxing, and one of the reasons was, apart from losing weight, was you as a man, you never know when you will need to protect yourself. So I do that. But also growing up, I think at the time there was just a lot of crime. And the only way we stayed secure at home, we would get the couch, put it on the door. You know those things where you get even the saucepan and put it on the door. Just in case at night that saucepan falls.
You know,
danger, daddy. So that's how we were growing up. And true story, because we owned a shop at home, so we knew we were always, at
risk.
At risk.
Yeah.
And so every time, whoever is the last person, you drag the couch, you put it on the door. You drag whatever you can, brooms, that is the security.
So we're kind of close to him, because I think it's a Makere thing, to be honest. Like that, we would even put like in the middle, like in the corridors. Like you're just like, in case they come through the window, they will not miss this saucepan in the corridor before they enter your home. So that one is.
So wait a second. I just need to understand this. So these are things you guys grew up doing. Are you still doing them in your house right now? Because I don't want to visit you guys after midnight. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not doing that.
No,
we're not doing that.
So my question is when you think security now, is it something that you've left to Brian to do? Or is it something that now jointly you guys plan and think through and say this is something that we've got to do in our house?
I mean, to be honest, I think in the beginning I kind of tried to be security conscious, especially because I was raised by a single mother, and so security was her thing. Like she had to be mindful of what security was. And then when I got into a marriage situation, this entanglement, I was so security conscious, and then we're having a lot of friction, for lack of a better word, you know.
And I like the way you're mentioning that, but you see, probably you need to understand how wide the word security is.
Yes.
The perception that a lot of people have is just like what you had is oh, guns, razor wire, and self-defense. But you see, security goes further than that. You're on your phone right now.
Yeah.
You pick up your techno phone and then you check. Do you know that there is cybersecurity that's critical there? When you're online, when you're talking on the phone, you call somebody, you know that people can tap your phone. So there are aspects of security there.
Yes.
There's when you're driving your cars. There's car security. I don't know, almost all of us have had some sort of incident there. So I think there's so many different areas. Because right now I've seen you guys are focused only on that. Don't
so
you?
We actually had a car incident, Mukwano Road, and at about 8 p.m. we are driving to visit a friend, and we're stuck in that traffic. Before Mukwano Road was actually, like, they hooked us up, and so this guy, we actually saw a guy at the front trying to rob the car in front of us. And we're like, that looks suspicious. In seconds, this guy had opened up our car. He had opened Manuella'S side. And he just grabbed, he
tried to grab my neck, because I think he thought there was a necklace. So he tried to grab the necklace, and then realizing that there's no necklace, he tried to, at that point, Brian, rushes to pick up my phones, which were on my laps. And then that's when he realizes, oh, the prize was in the laps. So he runs for my laps, and then he finds me ready, who did some self-defense classes. He found me quite ready. So we had some small men laying there.
And he was coming through the back of your car?
No, at
the side, passenger side. So he was in your car at that point?
Yes, he was really
actually
opened the car and then tried to grab my neck. And when he couldn't get it, so he tried to, he really came over my lap so that he could get the phones. And
How did that incident refine, one, your driving, your alertness, and how did it impact you as an individual?
So for me as an individual, at that point I was pregnant. And so it was very horrific as an experience, and one that I'll probably never forget. And so because of that, I remember it was an old car. You know those...
Brian Mulondo, Twaziza, how do you
get
a beautiful woman and give her an old car? Moana.
It was an old car.
Yes.
And it was, the manual lock, like you really have to lock.
Each of them.
In fact, when the guy was done almost robbing us, we're like, if he had gone to the back seat, all of our computers were there. But imagine, that meant even our back was open because of some old car. Some people here, when you tell them we need a new car, then they have broke.
So what I did the next day, I got a brand new car.
Yes, he did. Immediately.
That's right. So what you are saying is that the insecurity of one day forced you to buy a new car.
The one that I had been begging him to buy
all the time.
Over the anyway.
Seriously.
In the words of Ugandans, liare. Liare.
So it was so freaky. So she told me she was pregnant. So the next day, I went, got a new car.
Yeah, one that could immediately we're in, turn the ignition on, it will close, it will lock it. Because we are such busybodies. Immediately we go in, would forget, no doubt. So we needed something that would start talking, and before we know it, we've forgotten to close the car.
So that's a key thing, you see, because I think people need to build a protocol as you are doing certain things. And I think we're going to talk about that for the next couple of weeks. On every single episode, we're going to have tips which remind people, and we'll have experiences like the ones you guys have shared. But jumping straight to the point, you were pregnant. After you had your child, because you've got 2 children now.
Yes.
Now that you have children, has your perception about security changed in any way whatsoever?
I would say the security, angle changed. It now became more about safety. So there's security and safety. So for me, it became really big. I became really big on their safety as children. So things like corners in the house, how do you baby-proof the home? How do you make sure they're not, touching electricity wires?
What I can guarantee you that I'm going to have you back on this show.
Yes.
And we have to do an entire session on home security because I think a lot of people don't seem to understand how deep that can be.
Oh, it's really deep.
It is,
It's really, really deep. You have children running around. You don't know what wires they're going to fall into. Umeme is coming any day.
Correct.
You don't know when there's a surge in the power.
That's correct.
Electricity has gone off. Take all the lights off. Take all the sockets off. Even take the mains off. You can find out that electricity has come from anywhere else.
Yes, that's true.
But your own home.
That's
So
true.
taking off the electricity from the mains. Things like that. How many times do you check your electricity connections at home, which is now what we do. Have an electrician come in.
But if I was to switch the table a bit and move from home to businesses, because both of you are successful entrepreneurs, you run your own outfit, which has franchise, which is huge, the Cradle, and then Brian is one of Uganda's best producers, and you've been doing it for years. How has security now impacted on your businesses, and have you had any occurrences or incidences which you took learning lessons from?
So for me, obviously the equipment that we use is very expensive equipment. So
yes, some showing off, some showing off.
Very expensive. I see these ones. They are a bit.
Can we kindly edit this show and make him look bad?
So the equipment is expensive.
Yes.
But most importantly, you end up doing an event that will probably end at midnight.
Yes.
You have to secure the cameraman. You have to secure the camera. You have to. So we've had to put some things in, implementation at the company. So we have a contract with maybe a Surfboarder or Uber who guarantee our protection. Okay. Because we've also had incidences of cameramen being beaten.
That's right.
Yeah, at night, and cameras are lost. But also, and this happened to me, labeling, simple things like labeling equipment. And it's not just because you want to say, oh, this is the company, oh, Sekanyolya, I'm labeling. One day I'm hosting an event and one of my gear that had been stolen. Yes. I'm hosting an event, so I'm calling the bride and groom, come and cut the cake. I turn and I see my tripod. Like 2 years later.
So what did you do?
So
welcome, bride and groom, good luck. We're so calling.
It was the most incredible. I actually, I kept following the cameraman. Like, when...
I was like, oh yes, Mugole, what's happening? but I sympathize, I know. Yeah. So that was tracking of your equipment. But from your standpoint, I think, Manuella, you've got multiple young people. Yeah. I love my children to death, and I would do anything to protect them. And I'm handing them over to you at the Cradle to safeguard and to help them grow. So what have you guys put in place in terms of security systems and processes and procedures?
Such an important question, very pertinent, because that usually parents will not even look at who's with their children, what are they doing, who are they, nothing. They'll always first start with, where's the CCTV? Yeah. Where is the CCTV? That's the first, immediately they get in. Oh, I was coming in and I didn't see any CCTV. Like, where is the CCTV? So for us, that was like a huge priority, like right at the beginning. Okay. And then apart from us just being a child care center, we're open 24 hours. Wow. So that includes also the nights. Yes. And so in getting the kind of help that we need in terms of security men, we're always at that place where we're balancing, because you have to get a security man who the children can relate to and the parents can relate to, but then you also have to get somebody that can fight. So it's been, to be in a place of honesty, it's been quite the challenge, just finding the middle ground that can make parents feel I'm safe and I am happy. So we've actually gotten to a place where now we want to get our CCTV, we want to get parents access to the CCTV for their children. Okay. And yet also, this is a very interesting one. While we're doing CCTV, we can't do CCTV in the bathrooms for the kids.
That's true.
And then you're with parents and you're trying to find how to navigate this, because the one place, there's a privacy aspect, and yet there's also a dangerous aspect in terms of abuse of the children in the bathroom. Right. So even for us, the parents, and just having these meetings and discussing, would you like a camera inside the children's bathroom or not? Yeah. And then they're like, yes, but then some are saying, but no, and then others are saying yes, and then others are saying no. So it's quite a challenge, even for us as parents, to find out when we leave our children with another person, how much access to security do we require or do we need? Because also we know that very many times people find ways to even harm a child. Emotional harm to a child cannot be seen on camera. Right. Yeah, it can't be seen on camera. So to be honest, that's a place where we are grateful for people like Sekanyolya who can come and have that conversation and speak security with parents, and then be able to say, okay, so these are the options, take your pick, and yeah.
Options. If I asked you to give me 3 strategies, and let's imagine that somebody has set up their own childcare business, somebody has a production studio, and 3 tactics that you've utilized in your businesses which are critical to the security of your business and its well-being. Equipment, staff, infrastructure, what would they be for you, Brian?
One, of course, equipment tracking. Now the kind of equipment that is out there, you can always track. Now it's possible, wherever the camera is, you're able to see it. Number 2, insurance. Especially if you are in a business where you have very expensive equipment. Every time now guys see you with a backpack, yes, they know it's a laptop.
You look like a target.
Yes, you are a target. So insure your equipment. Yeah, insure your equipment. There are so many different service providers. Go and just do the necessary, just like we do for comprehensive insurance for cars.
Yeah. I think another one is to, like on our end, is to use technology and internet as a joint interface for yourself. So if you can have access to looking at the CCTV of your business, yes, wherever you are, because as a CEO, as a business owner, we're trying to get away from the place where we're trying to micromanage, and yet also micromanage. Yeah. But are you able to access your computers? Are you able to access your CCTV?
There's actually already a solution. Sekanyolya has got an awesome solution where you can see your entire business, your home, in the palm of your hand. Yeah. So mobile CCTV is something that's already active. It's something that you can purchase. It's affordable, yeah, and it gives you. It's quite expensive. It is. It was, yes. But now we've got affordable solutions. Wow. So I think that's what everybody needs. And a lot of times people run away from security because they assume that it's not affordable. Yeah. But can you really put a price on your life and the lives of people you care about? No. So speaking about that, I want to change gears a bit and come back home. And, you see, each of us has sort of like, we've got mantras by which we live. Traditions that I do. When I wake up in the morning, I do this. Or when I get into my car, I do that. So are there any particular traditions or tactics or things that you do as individuals in your personal lives which give you a better sense of security?
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things is, like on my end, I told you maybe earlier, I'm big on self-defense because I'm a girl, and one of the things that we go through is very high risks of rape and, all of those things. So usually if I'm taking a walk or I'm in a car, Brian knows I always have a worst case scenario, what I will do if anything happens to me at point X. I always have something in my mind. I always have a plan. I don't wait for when I'm in a particular situation.
You're proactive, you're very alert.
I'm very alert before even I get into the situation. So I'll give you an example. I walk. every evening. So I'm usually walking in the evening and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what happens right now if a man comes from in front of me and tries to grab my
area code?
My area code. Like what do I do? What do I aim for? If I am in Owino and I'm walking down Owino and they've gone past catcalling me to a point where they are touching places that they shouldn't, what should I? So like, for example, I know if somebody touches me from the behind, I know where my hand goes immediately. So I've thought about those things before as I rest, I'm already thinking of how to secure myself.
Do you ever enjoy your life? Or are you always on the lookout for robbery?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm always looking for a way to protect myself as an individual and as a woman, because I know how risky it can be. Even if someone tries to grab my phone from inside the car, like, what do I know I will do? How do I step the brake, pull the guy's hand? I know it in my mind.
If we can call that being preemptive, okay?
Yes.
Preemptive alertness, that's what I'm calling that.
Okay.
What about number 2?
Well, the second one is really at home, screaming at Brian to close that door.
Mr. Mulondo,
I've suffered.
I can imagine. What are the things that you do? Habits?
I think for me, back from home,
Yes.
when I was growing up, you have to make sure all doors are locked.
Okay.
Security lights have to be on. Yeah?
Okay.
So the moment it goes dark, security lights have to be on.
All right. Because lighting is actually a deterrent, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you see, if I can see you, you're less likely to try to commit a crime.
Yeah.
Because ngulaba.
Yeah.
All right. So lighting is as a deterrent. That's a smart one. Anything else?
Calling the guard before we get home is also another one.
There was a lot of talk at the time. People were being beaten at the gates.
Yes.
Right. So for us, when we're like 5 minutes away from home, we'll tell the guy, open the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we go through, when we reach, we just drive through. We're not waiting. We're not looking around.
Yes.
Because anything can happen.
Very true.
And of course, when you're in the car, the side mirrors are on, the
rear view mirror.
The rear view mirror, the seat belt, just small things like. Despite the fact that we have a car that auto locks now, I still have to, because of the experience.
Yes.
I'll get a new car.
Yeah, but then let me also report some.
Yes. Please feel free, but just know that you have to go back to the
I
same house.
know, but this one is good. It's
Yes.
good.
Okay.
He has a baseball bat under the bed.
Yes.
He's like,
Let's wait. For those of us who don't know baseball bat, it's like a cricket bat. It is like a hoe.
Yeah.
You have a hoe under your bed.
It's not even under, it's like there on the side.
It's on the side.
Anything he hears, he just grabs it first time, and then he also has a small envelope for the thieves.
Yeah, you have to be secure.
In case they come, you're like,
Talk about. But recently we had a friend who, actually a lawyer friend of ours, who was attacked, and the only reason he's alive is because the wife had 150K in her purse. And when they asked for money, she got her wallet, handed over 150K. So they turned to him and they're like, you waste your money. It's like, COVID times.
Yeah, but you know what? So the reason as to why that envelope exists is because of cybersecurity and just theft. Anyway, one of the things that we do is we have only one card that goes online, right? Okay. So we only have one card, and so it has a particular amount of money, and also the bank, after we've reached a certain, they will block the just for cybersecurity, but also because we make a lot of online payments, right? So now because of that, we don't handle cash.
That's good.
So if anything happened, you can't start telling him. They've woken guys up and told them, send mobile money. Go to the mobile money guy with a gun at the back. We are waiting. So
in this day and age, with COVID being an existing theme, anything you touch even.
Exactly.
If you have money, you don't know how many people's hands the money has gone through.
Yes, exactly.
So and you don't want to have to go through sanitizing the money.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, truth be told, I think all of the different strategies that you guys have come up with, they are really effective. And during the next couple of weeks, we're going to be discussing other ways of ensuring that you don't even have to get into a situation where somebody can get into your house.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the time that you guys have taken out to share your experiences. Thank you so much for keeping around. Stay safe. And
let me close with this. Someone says that you have to make sure that there are 3 places that you must protect at all costs. Number 1, your workplace. Because you spend most of the time at your workplace.
all right.
Yeah? So do whatever it takes. Camera, CCTV, alarm padlocks, dogs,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Alarm
do it.
padlocks are so cool.
You know, do that. Number 2, your car. That commute is long, especially when you're in Kampala.
Very true.
2 to 4 hours you're
Yes.
in traffic. So make sure your car is safe
Very
for
true.
you to drive, and it's also secure.
That's right.
Yeah, and
Number-
you have AC, so you can close the
Yes,
window. So,
if you
Mr.
can.
Mlondo, AC.
After Christ.
Brian,
Omwana
take a call
I'm not
AC.
secure.
Bakuganye, take a call AC.
And the last one is your home.
Yeah.
Because you
Yes.
come to rest.
That's
so
right.
you can go back to the marketplace. So if you are watching and you've probably been taking this for granted, secure those 3 areas.
Yeah.
The rest, do the best you can for those 3 areas, and hopefully nothing happens.
And also pray.
Oh, yeah.
Pray the angels over you, a
Amen
hedge
to
of
that.
fire over you.
Amen to
Yeah,
you.
just protect yourself with the
Amen.
blood of Jesus. Yeah.
I tell you, this show has got knowledge. Thank you so much, the 2 of you, for sharing your experiences.